Hi all, welcome to EduWizz Learning app. This video is to show you how we are conducting classes and how those classes help you to clear your exams. Okay, so this is a demo video to show you what type of classes are we providing and how that classes will help you to score good marks in your exams. Okay, EduWizz Learning app, it includes 35 hours of exam oriented theory classes and related question and materials. Furthermore, it also includes question discussion videos, materials, mock test, exam mode test and so on. With all these high quality classes and materials, we are 100% sure that you will be able to achieve good scores in all the exams. Okay, so let's go to topic. Today's topic is Raynaud's disease. Okay, what is Raynaud's disease? It belongs to the category or disease condition called peripheral arterial disease, which means the problem is in the arteries of the extremities, which is peripheral arterial disease. So basically what happens if a problem occurs in your artery? Okay, it's simple. When there is any problem in the arteries, the blood circulation will be decreased or impaired. So like that, we have many diseases which occurs on our extremity. One of them is Raynaud's disease. So let's see what it is. Constriction of small arteries that supply blood to the skin in response to cold, limiting blood supply to the affected area. Okay, so what happens? Vasoconstriction of the arteries of the extremities due to cold exposure. As a result, the blood supply to that area will be affected. This is Raynaud's disease. So the key points are what happens? Constriction of small arteries. Okay, constriction of arteries in response to cold climate, limiting blood supply to the affected area. Okay, so what happens? So the key points, if you're writing the notes, what you have to note is that what happens first? Vasoconstriction. Okay, vasoconstriction. And why the vasoconstriction occurs? It occurs as a result of cold, exposure to cold. And what happens if vasoconstriction occurs in the arteries? So imagine this is blood vessel and this is vasoconstriction. Okay, so this area is constricted. So what happens is that the area before the vasoconstriction, the blood will be accumulated, it will not be able to flow, and due to increased amount of blood in this area, the pressure will be high. So first what happens? There will be hypertension. Okay, and after the constricted area, what happens? There will be decreased blood supply. Okay, and lately what happens? Due to decreased blood supply, there will be decreased oxygen supply. Okay, so what happens if there is decreased blood supply? First is decreased blood supply lead to decreased circulation to the affected area. Okay, so decreased blood circulation, how do we assess circulation of an extremity? By checking the pulse. So decreased pulse. Okay, and on assessment we can see pallor, and due to decreased blood supply, patient will complain of paresthesias. Okay, patient will say numbness and tingling sensation, that is called paresthesias. Okay, and due to decreased O2 supply, how do we know? The extremities color will change from pallor to cyanosis. Okay, so these are the signs and symptoms. All these are the signs and symptoms of Raynaud's disease. We will discuss it in detail later. So what happens? Hypertension, pulse, pallor, paresthesia and cyanosis. These are the things which we should monitor, and these are the symptoms which we should treat in the Raynaud's disease. Okay, so let's go to the definition again. Constriction of smaller arteries that supply to the skin due to response to cold, which limits the blood supply to the affected area. Okay, so the main reason is it is associated with cold climate. Okay, now let's go to the signs and symptoms. Okay, cold finger or toes. So first thing, if the circulation diminished, what happens is that the skin temperature will be low. our skin temperature will be cold. If there is proper circulation, it will be warm, and if there is diminished circulation, it will be cold. So cold fingers and toes. Areas of skin that turn white then blue, just like we said, first it will be pallor and then it will be cyanosis. It will turn into bluish discoloration due to low oxygen supply. Numb, prickly feeling or stinging pain upon warming or stress relief. So this is called as paresthesia, numbness and tingling sensation. Okay. And fourth is diminished or absent peripheral pulses. Due to decreased circulation, the pulse will be diminished or absent. So these are the signs and symptoms we discussed here also. And coming to the management, just like we said, what are the main things happening here due to vasoconstriction? First thing is hypertension. But before that, nursing responsibility is, what is the main reason for this vasoconstriction? Exposure to cold. Okay, so we should avoid cold, and as the patient is having cold skin, we should keep the patient warm. Okay, so avoid cold and keep the patient warm is the first responsibility. And then what happens? Hypertension. So medical management includes antihypertensives like calcium channel blockers, and then to relieve vasoconstriction, you should the treatment used is vasodilators. So management includes avoid cold climate and keep the patient warm. And second is medical management, which are antihypertensives and vasodilators. Okay, so questions can come from all these sessions. What is the nursing responsibility of a patient with Raynaud's disease? We should keep the patient warm and avoid cold temperature. Or what is the health education which a nurse should give to a patient with Raynaud's disease? To avoid cold exposure. Okay, what are the medical managements? Vasodilators and antihypertensives. So all these are the questions. What are the assessment findings which we look for? Decreased pulse, pallor, cyanosis, paresthesia. All these are the findings which we should, as a nurse, you should look for. Okay, so this is the topic which is Raynaud's disease. I will repeat again and I will show you a question. How does it comes related to Raynaud's disease? Okay, so Raynaud's disease is constriction of smaller arteries that supply to the skin in response to cold, limiting blood supply to the affected area. It is associated with cold climate. Okay, and signs and symptoms are cold fingers or toes, temperature will be low, areas of skin that turn white then blue, which is pallor and cyanosis, numb, prickly feeling or stinging pain, which is paresthesias, and diminished or absent peripheral pulses. Hope you all understood about the topic. Now let's go to the question. Okay, this is question related to Raynaud's disease. The nurse is performing an admission assessment on a client admitted with diagnosis of Raynaud's disease. The nurse assesses for associated symptoms by performing which actions? So here the patient is with Raynaud's disease and nurse want to assess for the associated symptoms. So in order to assess for the associated symptoms, what action should a nurse perform? That is the question. So question is based on assessment findings, or what are the clinical features which a nurse can assess in a patient with Raynaud's disease. Now let's go to the options. Checking a rash on the digits, observing for the softening of nails or nail beds, palpating for rapid or irregular peripheral pulse, palpating for diminished or absent peripheral pulses. Hope you all should have known the answer right now. But checking for a rash on the digits, we didn't mention anything about a rash. What we mentioned is about pallor and cyanosis. So option A is wrong. Observing for softening of the nails or nail beds, we also didn't discuss about this symptom. And now palpating for a rapid irregular peripheral pulse. In Raynaud's disease, we just discussed about the circulation. What happens due to vasoconstriction? The circulation will be low, and as a result, the pulse will be absent or weak. Okay, so rapid irregular pulse is also wrong answer. Correct answer is option D, palpating for diminished or absent peripheral pulses. Okay, this is one answer. Instead of this, another answers can also come, like assess for skin discoloration, assess for pallor, or assess for cyanosis. That is also correct answer, but there will only be one right answer in options, if there is 4 options, okay. So either it can be assessed for a pallor or cyanosis, or you can ask the patient about paresthesias, or you can palpate for the pulse which will be diminished or absent. So this is how the question comes related to Raynaud's disease. Hope you all enjoyed the video. To know more about our classes, please contact us.